Grabbing the Google generation from Gehenna mission, G4 mission, completes 15 years of existence come this February 2021. It's been a journey where all that we can say is this is the Lord's doing and it's marvelous in our eyes. The seeds of this mission was sown when I was a college student doing B.Tech Agriculture Engineering in Allahabad. There I realized that the students around me wanted teaching on what they were going through, their sexual temptations and the problems that they faced, their alcoholism, the temptation to watch pornographic blue films, and so on and so forth. And I went to the scriptures and I dug out truth and I started sharing. And I remember that meeting outside chemistry department with several hostel boys sitting in a circle, and I basically preached on what the Bible teaches on sex and sexual sin and sexual purity. So that was the genesis, I would say. Down the line, though I was a youth pastor for some time, having completed a MDiv with a gold medal in Southern Asia Bible College, and though I was a missionary with a prominent missionary organization for about 3 years, eventually I was utterly restless until my wife and I landed in the city of Hyderabad on October 29th, 2005. And by February 2006, we started this ministry. My dad helped to register it as with the government, and we have non-relatives on the board, and we started off. And God blessed the ministry. Why Hyderabad? Because I wanted to be in a centrally located big city from where I could travel and minister to the Google generals of India. And I remember receiving invitations from Coimbatore, from Kolkata. I remember traveling all the way to Darjeeling, preaching in youth camps, staying in Hyderabad. The initial 3 years I worked with 24/7 customer service. I worked with HSBC Global Resourcing. 2006, 7, 8, I was a tent making missionary. I ran prayer cells during breaks as I did night shift in these companies. That was the time when my daughter was born. There were a lot of invitations to preach God's word among the youth from different denominations. The Mennonite Brethren and the Baptists and the Methodists, and of course the Assemblies of God, which was also my local church, the local church I attended. And the Lord blessed it. There were times when we traveled abroad occasionally. Ivan and I traveled to Singapore to minister there, and recently I traveled to Dubai, in between for twice traveled to Bangladesh. So God was opening the doors. And the hallmark, there were a couple of hallmarks that I want to talk about. One, the support came from Indians who wanted to see the Google generals being grabbed from going to Gehenna. So the support came from Indians. And second, it was a volunteer-run ministry. Even as I speak, behind the lens is Sunny Karumanchi. He works with a prominent corporate company, but he gives all his free time for God's work, and his camera work is legendary. And I thank God for him, and thank God for people like him, many others who have other areas of expertise, and they serve God, and they build God's kingdom through G4 mission. And this year we have hit 15, and we continue to do what God has called us to do. We have an event called Fountain of Tears against Mountain of Fierce Fasting Prayer for the nations, the nation, India, the Google generation, and your tension and my tension. Several people have received miracles. People have participated in this event. God has been gracious to do miracles in their lives. Not just that, we have had Bible studies, deep Bible studies, sound doctrine that pumps spiritual adrenaline, Bible book summaries, all the 66 books covered, a journey of over 7 years, 7+ years, and then 20 Bible doctrines covered. So God has been gracious. We met in the home of Daniel and Magdalene in Somajiguda, a centrally located place, flat in Hyderabad. And small groups of people from different walks of life gathered to study God's Word. So it's been a wonderful journey. And then every month we have tried to give out tracts, the Dhoni tract that we created, the Bubbly tract that we created. And people who have never walked into a church, people who have perhaps never heard of Jesus, had in their hand the printed copy of the gospel in wrapped around contemporary events, Jesus style. If you read Luke chapter 13, Paul style, if you read Acts chapter 17, they had a tract like that, and God was speaking to them through that tract. And I remember going along with several faithful tract distribution volunteers. Sherry Roy is one of them, and Arul Johnson is another, and Vineet, who right now lives in Europe, he's another person. So God has been faithful. God has been good. And when we travel and preach, I can tell you, we don't lay a foundation for another invitation. We tell the people what God would have us tell them, frankly, without fearing any consequence. And at the end of the messages, we have had the joy of seeing people commit for salvation, fighting back the tears, and all the way to full-time ministry. And then people signing up chastity pledges, saying no to sex outside of marriage, and so on and so forth. We published a book which became quite well known among the Google journalists, called Straight Talk, No Beating About the Bush, Straight Talk. Eugene Pandian designed the cover. Now we've had 3 versions, and Word of Christ published it. And that's that brings Bible teaching on the most intimate matters that are bothering the Google journalists. Our magazine, Days of Your Youth, has now seen 40 issues, Bible truth wrapped around contemporary events. So thank you for praying for us. Thank you for following us. Thank you for following us on social media, on Instagram, on YouTube, where we have over 3,000 subscribers and over 1,500 videos, on Facebook. And thank you for supporting us with your finances. And I am grateful. Ivan is grateful. Dale and Natasha are grateful. The family of G4 Mission, the board of G4 Mission is grateful. Until the return of Jesus, we will do this with increasing passion, with unwavering focus. God bless you.